Hello, in this video I'm going to be talking about the different functional groups which consist of sigma or single bonds and do not consist entirely of carbons and hydrogens. So the first compound I'm going to be talking about is an alcohol group. And an alcohol group is just an R group attached to an OH. And an example of an alcohol group is going to be methanol. The second compound I'm going to be talking about is an alkyl halide. And an alkyl halide is just an R group attached to a halogen. So X stands for halogen. And an example of an alkyl halide is going to be an alkyl chloride. The next group I'm going to be talking about is an amine group, but it's also referred to as azane and ammonia. And it's a nitrogen with a lone pair attached to 3 carbons / hydrogens, and it can be any combination of hydrogens or R groups. I should refer to them as R groups, not carbons. And amine groups, and alkyl halides are as well, are classified based upon how many R groups are attached. So an example of a primary alkyl halide is a nitrogen attached to 1 R group and 2 hydrogens. And if I were to replace one of these hydrogens with another R group, then this would become a secondary amine. And if I were to replace this hydrogen, it would become a tertiary amine. The next group I'm going to be talking about is an ether, and it's really important not to confuse this with an ester group because they're totally different. An ether group is an R group attached to an oxygen, and the oxygen is attached to another R group. And an example of an ether group is going to be diethyl ether. So I'm going to attach 2 ethyl groups to the oxygen to make diethyl ether. Whoops. The next group I'm going to talk about is often confused with a thiol group. However, it's a sulfide group. And a sulfide and a thiol group look very similar. However, there is one big key difference. So an example of a sulfide group would be dimethyl sulfide. So I'll attach 2 methyl groups to sulfide and create a dimethyl sulfide. And a thiol group looks very similar to a sulfide, but it's just a sulfur attached to 1 hydrogen and another R group. So an example of a thiol group would be methane thiol.